Hello everybody, it's me, Caroline, and I am pretty sure that I am live here, so yeah, let's get this learning train a-rollin'. So, this week we are going to be playing with the Drakonarium, which is very exciting because we have not played with it before. Drakons are these little animals here. They're very interesting because they can look many different ways. And we're going to try and breed some Drakons and maybe get a mutation to happen. So I'm going to talk to Yoshi here. Is this Yoshi or Hiroshi? I turned off my UI. It's probably Hiroshi. Alright, we're going to enter the Drakonarium. The Drakonarium is run by two twin brothers, Yoshi and Hiroshi. And this is Yoshi. We just talked to Hiroshi. And so yeah. I wanted this stream to be, I wanted to include you in pretty much everything. I was testing some stuff before I started this stream, so I have one Drakon who's flapping around here, and their name is Bluely, because I did not care about thinking of a good name. But yeah, I'm going to get some eggs out of my egg inventory, and I'm going to hatch them to finish up the introduction. I haven't even finished the tutorial, you guys. This is a brand spanking new Drakonarium, save for the one Drakon that is already in the Drakonarium. Alright, so I'm going to finish incubating the other Drakon eggs and then go talk to Yoshi to learn more. So I'm just going to finish this up real quick and then finish up the tutorial, and then I can explain more about what's happening. There's a timer. We are going to be watching a lot of timers in this stream because that's a major part of it. We're also going to see this cutscene quite a bit. Oh, look at the cute little Drakon. He just hatched out of an egg. All right, what do we want to name our Drakon? I'm just going to name it. I'm going to name it Freddy Two Wings. Well, Freddy Two Wing. It's actually Four Wing, but that's okay. Oh, it's on a restricted list. Fluffy, sure, whatever. All right. So now we've got Fluffy, and we are going to hatch this other Drakon as well. And there it is. Very nice. Now, I'm not going to name it Drakon. That's terrible. Purple Wing. There we go. That seems like a good name for this Drakon. All right. I now have 3 Drakons. I'm going to finish up the tutorial, and then I will explain what the tutorial was about. Alright, there we go. I'm going to pause here to just give a little bit of background on the Drakonarium. This seems like just as good a time as any. So, the Drakonarium is our genetics and inheritance sandbox, and in this sandbox we are going to be breeding Drakons. As you perhaps were able to tell, these 3 Drakons, they look quite different. One of them that we just hatched has 4 wings, the others have 2 wings, they're different colors, and I can look, once the tutorial is over, I'll be able to look and see what kind of genes they have. So what our goal is this week is to try and create a Drakon that has a mutation. And I will explain more about that when the tutorial is over. So I'm going to open up the reading cane. One very interesting thing about Drakons is that they are neither male nor female. They are both, and as such, they can reproduce sexually or asexually. So that means that they can reproduce with a partner, or they can reproduce just by creating a clone of themselves, basically. So there are some animals in our world that can actually do this, and these animals that are both male and female are called hermaphrodites. And we only use that term for animals, however. Plants can also be both male and female, and I believe the word is dioecious for plants that are both male and female, and for humans it is intersex or some other term. But so yes, these are our good little Drakons, and we are going to be doing a mix of asexual and sexual breeding today to try and get the Drakons that we want. So, finishing up the tutorial, let's try this. And we're going to select a parent. We can select any ones that we want. I'm going to select Purple Wing, like their nice purple wings here, very nice. So the reason why we might need to asexually breed one of our Drakons is because we can only breed each Drakon 3 times. And after they've been bred 3 times, they're going to leave our Drakonarium. The reason why we're in the Drakonarium breeding drakons is because these animals are native to Halcyon, which is one of the moons of Ovo, the planet that we're on. And they used to live in harmony with the environment. Everything was fine. They were a very important animal in their ecosystem, but something has happened lately, and the drakons are no longer reproducing. While I talk, I'm going to walk around so you're not just looking at a still screen. Anyway, the drakons are no longer reproducing, and that's a really bad problem because if they're not reproducing, then their population isn't sustainable or stable, and that means the entire ecosystem is going to collapse. So Taito has started a breeding program here at Taito Academy to try and diversify the gene pool, and that's why we are only legally allowed to breed these drakons 3 times before we have to send them back to Halcyon so that they can live out the rest of their lives and hello, Purple Wing, and hopefully help the rest of the population come back into healthy numbers again. All right, so we've got Purple Wing, and now we are going to try, I think, Fluffy, maybe. Let's try the directory here. There we go. Oops, don't want that open. All right, we're going to pick Fluffy and Bluely here. So we're going to hit the breed button, see what happens. There we go. And there's some lovely little flowers that are coming out here as the drakons are breeding. And, oh, that's interesting. And I'm supposed to be seeing the drakons over here. Well, I guess maybe we're just not going to see them. But they did have 4 little eggs, and they're supposed to be a cinematic, but sometimes computers don't do the things that we want them to do. But we did receive our 4 eggs, so whatever, I'll take it. All right, so now we have 4 new eggs, and as you can see, they're all sort of similar in color. And let's click on one of them to see their profile, egg profile. It shows the egg's potential genetics. And we don't, of course, this is in an egg, so we don't know exactly what this little drakon is going to look like. But we do know what its parents looked like, so we know roughly what its genetics could be. So, you know, we might want to decide which eggs we hatch depending on what genes they're likely to have. We can also send eggs back to Halcyon. As you can see, we only have so many inventory slots for eggs and for drakons, so eventually we'll have to make some difficult choices about which drakons to send back to Halcyon and which eggs that we don't want to bother hatching. All right, so I'm going to incubate one of these new eggs, and I'm just going to incubate this one because I like the purple color. I'm gonna have this little drakon hatch, and out it comes. Oh, he's a tiny one. Look at how tiny. All right, Mint Wings. There we go. That seems like a good name for this drakon. And we're going to finish this tutorial. And there we go. Perfect. Nailed it. All right, now the Drakonarium is ours to control. Tutorial is over. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in my Drakon directory, and I'm going to take a closer look at some of these drakons' genetics. So I'm looking at Purple Wing's genetics right now. And as you can see, there are a ton of drakon genes that we can try to control here. We tried to do the math at one point. There are basically a gajillion combinations of genes that you can have. Gajillion, I believe, is the scientific name for the number of genetic combinations that you can actually have here. So we have head shape and head ridge, and we can see what the genotype is down here. For those of you who are perhaps unaware, who have forgotten, the difference between genotype and phenotype is what you can see. So the head ridge phenotype is, I don't know if you can really see it here, but it is like a tiny little, oh, I think that a tail tip, that might be a better example. All right, so the tail tip is the classic looking, looks sort of like a little two-pronged thing there. That's the phenotype because we can see it. That's what it looks like. The genotype is a representation of what that is, basically. So the genotype is a 2-letter code that describes a phenotype. It would be really difficult to try and do Punnett squares by writing out all of the different phenotypes, but if we convert them into genotypes, then we understand which alleles make up the gene itself. So do type into the chat if you are a little bit lost about genotypes and phenotypes, and I can try to explain a little bit better, but for the time being, we don't have too many concurrent viewers right now, and I want to see if we can get a mutation going. So I'm just going to blaze right ahead, but if you guys want some more explanation on genotypes and phenotypes, I can definitely talk more about that. So let's explore purple wings genetics a little bit more closely. What I'm really interested in are genotypes that are heterozygous, like this. Heterozygous means that there's two different alleles that comprise the gene, whereas homozygous means that there are two of the same alleles in the gene. So I'm interested in heterozygous genes because there's a possibility that the child will inherit a different genotype from what the parent has if we do sexual reproduction. So what I'm very interested in here, though, is mutations. Now, I haven't unlocked any mutations yet because this is a new Drakonarium and I haven't done that. So I don't know what these mutations could be. However, I'm clicking through these and I'm seeing that Purple Wing has capital A genes for all of these particular mutations. However, for this one mutation under color traits, it's lowercase a, uppercase A, which means that if we can find another Drakon with a lowercase a here, we might be able to unlock this particular trait. So that's basically it. Let's see if we have any Drakons in our, oh look, that looks like Fluffy's got that as well. Does Bluely? Oh, it looks like they all do. I guess they're all sort of related, so that makes sense that they've got this going. So I think that what I want to do now is I want to breed some of my Drakons, but I want to breed them with a Drakon that I don't have in my Drakonarium. So I'm going to try sexual reproduction here. I'm going to click Purple Wing because I know that they have this lowercase a, and I'm trying to get a Drakon that has at least one more lowercase a here. So I like that. And I can select a Drakon from my directory, which is all the Drakons that I have in my aviary, or I can select from a lookbook, which is like a sort of a book full of different Drakons that are available. I can look at all of their genetics and try to get some new genes into my gene pool here. So let's just go through and try to find some interesting looking Drakons. This one's cool. This one is real cool. It's got that Maleficent thing going on. I'm into it. Oh, this one's also very cool. And this one actually has two different horns, which is very interesting. This is an example of incomplete dominance, where you get one, basically it's you have a mix of two different phenotypes. This is different from codominance. Codominance and incomplete dominance are when you have two phenotypes that are both present at the same time. There isn't a dominant or a recessive type. However, codominance is when, like, let's say that you have a black spot allele and a white spot allele. You'll have black and white spots. If you have incomplete dominance, then you will have a solid gray color because both of them are incompletely dominant. They're just sort of sharing power, I guess. I think those two terms really ought to be switched, but you know, I'm not really a scientist, so. Ooh, Hypatia looks pretty cool. Oh man, I'm getting distracted with all these genotypes. I really like this 3-wing look, and also it has this coveted A genotype here. Let's see if this has any. Oh look! Oh wow! Oh, Hypatia has a lot of different mutations I can possibly unlock here. Yeah, I think I'm feeling good about Hypatia. I'm going to go with Hypatia here. Hypatia, of course, was I believe a Greek mathematician from the olden days, the very thousands of years ago. She was a mathematician at a time when most women were not allowed to be mathematicians. She was very well regarded. So, hashtag women in STEM. All right, we're going to breed Purple Wing and Hypatia. Try to get some mutations to happen. Now, I don't know why it's not going to the cutscene, but if this were hooked up properly, we would be seeing the two Drakons doing a lovely romantic little dance in here. and it would look very nice. So imagine in your minds that these two drakons are lovingly flying around each other and in a shower of beautiful little petals. And look at those cute little eggs. So yeah, try to just imagine that in your mind. So I'm going to claim these eggs, and now let's have a look at my egg inventory. All right, I still have these 3 eggs from when I finished the tutorial, and honestly, I am not that interested in them. So before I get confused and I start forgetting which eggs are which, I am going to talk to Yoshi and get rid of some of these eggs. I'm going to sell some eggs. So get rid of these eggs. Get out of here. Eggs. There we go. I don't want these eggs. Sell them. Sell them for 15 coins. Not a lot, but that's okay. All right. So let's look at the egg inventory again. Oh, I hope it sold the right ones. All right, well, we know that this one is Parents Purple Wing and Hypatia, and it looks like we did sell the correct eggs, just the UI is not matching up for whatever reason. But we just have the 4 eggs from Purple Wing and Hypatia, and let's go and look and make sure that we have a potential for getting a mutation here. So in this little bar, it shows the likelihood of different phenotypes happening, and there are 3 colors here, which means that there are three possibilities for the offspring. It could be present, it could be absent, or it could be absent and also there's no chance that the offspring will be able to inherit it because it'll be homozygous dominant. And just for funsies, let's look at these other little things here. And I believe that Purple Wing doesn't have any lowercase a's, so the best we can do with these particular mutations is creating a carrier. So it looks like we do have a chance, though, to create a whatever this mutation is, which is very interesting. So I guess we'll try to hatch this egg. Gonna click on this, put this egg in here, yes'm. There we go. And I believe that all of these eggs probably have the same, oof, come over here. There we go. All of these eggs probably have the same chances of getting this this particular mutation. So I think I'm just going to put 3 eggs in here and try to hatch them and see if we get a mutation in any of them. All right. So here comes this little Drakon. Oh, look at the cute little horns. Look at that. All right. Well, we'll check and see if it has a mutation, but I don't see anything that looks particularly mutant about its coloration. What should we name it? Let's name it Binky. I don't know. There we go. Perfect. Binky. I'm gonna run out of names. So also, if you want to suggest names, just put them in the chat, and we're gonna be naming a bunch of Drakons. So put names in the chat, and I'll try to use them. All right, let's hatch this other egg. And out it comes. Oh, it looks just like its little sibling. And this one I am going to name Scientist. Because, as Holly says, we are all scientists, including this Drakon. So there we go. We've got Binky and Scientist. What a pair. There we go. Leroy. I like that. I like that name. All right, this one's going to be Leroy. And, oh, that one's got a lot. Look at that. I like that mint color on the back, and it's got this, like, burnt mustard look on the front. That is very chic. That is a hard color combo to pull off, but we are pulling it off. All right, Leroy Drakons. There we go. Leroy is now in our aviary. Okay, so before I hatch the 4th, actually, I can start this egg right now. There we go. Get that egg cooking. And I'm going to check on the genetics of some of the Drakons that I already have in here. So let's check out Binky. All right, so it looks like, unfortunately, Binky has not even inherited a single allele for this particular mutation. Binky, you are of no use to us. What about Scientist? Oh, Scientist is a carrier. Scientist is a contender, so that's good. And what about Leroy? Oh, Leroy has also got a nice, get that nice heterozygous genotype here, so it is possible that Leroy and Scientist, if we bred them together, they would give us the mutation that we desire. However, it must be noted that Scientist and Leroy are full siblings, which is a little bit not only disgusting, but it's not great for genetic diversity. So I'm going to explain something here. Now, while you technically could breed these two Drakons together, even though they are siblings, you don't want to do that because, and this is true in real life as well, the more similar that two organisms' genotypes are, and you have similar genotypes within your family, of course, the more likely it is that a recessive trait that is negative will show up. In this particular case, we have this recessive mutation trait showing up in both of these, which is a positive trait that we want, but there may be some other bad recessive traits, and if we inbreed these two Drakons, we will end up with a bad result. So I'm going to go right ahead and not breed Leroy and Scientist because that is just a little weird. And although we could do that if we wanted to. And I'll just explain right now, the more you inbreed your Drakons, the more likely it will be that they will be born sterile, and then you won't be able to do that anymore. So I'm going to click on this egg, see what we've got in here, and just going to open. There it is. All right, I love this color scheme. I am going to name this Drakon Color Scheme. There we go. Perfect. Color Scheme is now in our inventory, our aviary. Very nice. All right, so let's see what Color Scheme has for us. Mutations. Why? Oh, look at that. So it looks like Binky. Binky has disappointed us. Let's check their other mutations. Let's eyes on the prize. Let's go for this one, not for anybody else. So Binky is a no. And what about Mint Wings and Bluely and all of these others? It looks like Mint Wings is actually a carrier for this particular trait that we're trying to get. Let me think. Let's look at Mint Wings' pedigree to see if Mint Wings and Scientist, Color Scheme, or Leroy are all related. So let's have a look. Okay, so it looks like Mint Wings is the child of Fluffy and Bluely, and they are not related to any of these new Drakons that we just created. So that's great. So I'll wait for a little while. I'll just walk around the Drakonarium. I think that we should breed Mint Wings with one of these Drakons. So Scientist, Color Scheme, or Leroy, which one should we pick? So they look like this, and then Mint Wings looks like this. And so which one should we breed with Mint Wings? Scientist, Color Scheme, or Leroy? And I'm going to take a nice jog around the Drakonarium whilst I wait for my words to travel across the interwebs. Hello, Leroy. Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, look at you with your cute little face. Oh, yes, you're just the cutest little dragon. Yes, you are. Oh, look at that. You've got two different horns. But that's okay. It's codominance. Oh, man, you flew right through my face. Rude. All right. So, I am not seeing any suggestions, so I'm going to choose myself. Let's pick Mint Wings for the first. There we go. I'm going to close the pedigree. I know enough about the pedigree now. There we go. So we have got Mint Wings for the first, and then for the second, I am going to choose Color Scheme, because that one is the color scheme that I like. Okay, we're going to breed them. There we go. Let's see what happens. There is a beautiful shower of these lovely little pink blossoms that are cascading merrily on two lovely Drakons. I'm trying to paint a word picture for you folks. And they are dancing together in an arabesque of love and passion. So imagine that. Alrighty, so we will claim, and Holly says that Leroy has a capital A. I'm pretty sure that Leroy, Color Scheme, and Scientist, they all have the same genotype for this particular gene that we're trying to get to come out. Yeah, they've all got the same here. So and we want two lowercase a's to get this particular thing to unlock. Oh, also let's note Color Scheme now has one fewer clutch. before they can have to be sent back to Halcyon. So we've got some nice eggs now. Let's take a look at our eggs. Oh, look at this lovely, this is such lovely colors. Nice pastels. That is just very nice. Okay, so it looks like this one is a contender. Ooh, this one is also a contender. Might get that little, those double A thing here. This one, and oh, looks like they're all contenders. Well, isn't that just fantastic? That is just great. All right. So I'm going to I'm just going to put all 3 eggs in here. Yes, please. There we go. And you know what? I'm going to just press this button, see what happens. We'll just see what happens. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I didn't design this game. I didn't design this game. I helped many, many people design this game over the course of many years. So, all right, let's open up this egg. See what's in. Ooh, look at that, a little 4-wing. Oh, that's so cute. I'm going to name this one Pastelia. There we go. That is a very good Drakon. You know what? I'm so excited. I want to see what kind of genes Pastelia has. Pastelia, oh, you disappoint me. Ugh. No good. No good. All right. Well, let's try this egg. Maybe we'll get the good gene with this egg. Oh, dang, that is cool. That is one cool Drakon. Oh man, this Drakon is so cool. It needs a name that is just super cool. What is a cool name that I can think of? Oh, I can't think of any cool names. I'm gonna call you Neon. Pretty. Okay. I don't think that was actually a name suggestion, but I'm gonna call this Drakon Pretty Neon anyway. There we go. That is the name of a champion. Okay. And now this last egg is going to open up and we'll see what is inside. And this one's fine. Okay, there we go. All right. So, oh man, my aviary is really getting full of these beautiful little animals here. I am not sure if you guys can hear music and sound effects. I can't. I have it muted, or I would go insane listening to my own voice. But I assume that if you can hear sound effects, you're hearing a lot of cooing. The Drakons make a lot of cooing noises. So yeah. All right, so let's have a look at our Drakon directory and see what we got. Pastelia was a disappointment. Pretty Neon. Oh my gosh, Pretty Neon. Look at this. We got it. That's so cool. Oh man, we finally got the genotype, and you know why it's neon? It's because it's bioluminescent. That's so cool. Oh man, we did it. All right, well, Pretty Neon is officially my favorite Drakon. Sorry, other Drakons. I do have favorites within my aviary. So what happened was, let's go over our steps so we remember how we did this. So we had to find 2 Drakons that were carriers for a recessive gene here. We needed to have a heterozygous, 1 capital, 1 lowercase. If you breed two different organisms that have or two of the same Drakon, okay, I'm going to try this again. When we breed 2 Drakons that have heterozygous genotypes, there is a possibility that the child will inherit a homozygous genotype. And that homozygous genotype may be a double recessive, which is where interesting things happen. And this is in extremely tiny, tiny font, but it does say bioluminescence here. And we managed to unlock it. And what's interesting about bioluminescence is that it actually will not show up unless the environment during the egg's incubation period is just right. So if you remember, when I put the egg in here, I clicked this button and I made sure that it was on red instead of on green. So what happened was this egg was cultivated in darkness, and because of that, there was a gene that will switch on, and the organism's thinking, oh, I'm being cultivated in darkness, perhaps I will be living in a dark environment, I might need some bioluminescence, and that is how we activated that gene. So that was actually an environmental factor as well as genetics that were able to unlock that particular gene. So we've got Pretty Neon. Oh, look, you can You can see Pretty Neon from anywhere because they're just glowing. Oh, look at that. That's your home eventually. Not you, Pretty Neon. You're staying with me. You're too cool. But, all right. So Pretty Neon had that gene. And, oh, it looks like, actually, it looks like Fine also has that gene. That is very interesting. I guess it's more subtle on Fine, which is not as interesting. But you know what? I'll take it. That is just fine. Okay, so we've got 2 Drakons that we've unlocked mutations for, and so I'd call that a success. And now let's sort of clear out our Drakonarium here. There's getting to be a few too many Drakons. So now that we've unlocked one mutation, let's try to unlock one more, and that will probably take us to the end of our time. So, looking for mutations in this zone here, and it looks like Purple Wing is not going to help us. So we don't really need Purple Wing in our Drakonarium anymore. What about Fluffy? Looks like Fluffy hasn't got anything interesting. What about Bluely? No, Bluely hasn't got anything. Mint Wings? Nothing. Nothing at all. What about Binky? All right, Binky's got this one. Okay, so Binky's got 2. What about Scientist? All right, well, Scientist has one, but it's for not the same ones as Binky. Color Scheme. Color Scheme. Okay, so we've got Binky and Color Scheme. Both have a heterozygous genotype for whatever this mutation is here. And let's just make sure. Are Binky and Color Scheme related? Oh, yeah, they're siblings. Okay, well, never mind. We're not doing that. Not doing that during a live stream. That's weird. Okay. So Leroy also has this. I guess that Binky, Scientist, Color Scheme, and Leroy, those were the siblings. So I guess that they all have this. So we can keep all 4. We can keep 1 or whatever. Pastelia has nothing. Pretty Neon. Oh, Pretty Neon's got this heterozygous genotype here. We could try breeding Pretty Neon with somebody. And Fine hasn't got anything. Okay. So I am going to talk to Yoshi, and I am going to send some Drakons to Halcyon. I don't want to send Fine. I am going to send Purple Wing. And let's move this over here. Just want to double check. And I do want to send Fluffy. I guess I could have checked this while I was sending the Drakons to Halcyon. Sorry, everybody. You have to watch me do this again. And Mint Wings. I don't mind Mint Wings going to Halcyon. You know what? Just for the sake of lore and storyline, I'm going to keep Mint Wings because I know that they have, like, children here. I don't want to break up the family. The children were just born a few minutes ago. I don't want to be a jerk. Binky, I do want to keep Binky. Binky, Scientist, Color Scheme, and Leroy. Those were all of the siblings. I like Color Scheme's style. I'm going to keep Color Scheme. And Scientist, we don't have any other Drakons that have this particular mutation, so I'm going to say Scientist can go. And I'm just trying to clear this out here so that I don't have a bunch of different Drakons that I'm trying to keep track of. All right, so we're going to send 5 Drakons to Halcyon. Goodbye forever. Sorry. Okay, goodbye. And good. So now we've got a more manageable aviary. We've got, oh, look at that. Pretty Neon is still around, being super cool. And all right, so, oh, hey. Hi. Hello, my precious. How are you doing? Oh, are you doing okay? You're very pretty. Yes, you are. You're pretty and neon. I love it. All right. So now what we're trying to do is we are trying to get one more mutation to happen. So we're going to try this last one here. And I think that we want to try this with Pretty Neon. So I'm going to breed Pretty Neon with some other Drakon. Perhaps we can get it out of the lookbook. And just so that we remember, Pretty Neon does have the bioluminescence gene. So if we can find a Drakon that's also a carrier for this gene, there is a likelihood that they might have 2 mutations, which would be very interesting. So let's just check who are your people here. Okay, so it looks like Pretty Neon and Leroy are not related. And did Leroy have this? Yes. Yes, they did. Okay, so it looks like Pretty Neon and Leroy are good contenders for breeding. So again, what we're trying to do is we are trying to get this particular mutation to appear. We don't know what it is until it's going to appear. We're looking for 2 Drakons that are carriers for the gene that we need, and we're going to go with Pretty Neon and Leroy. And because Pretty Neon has the bioluminescence gene, which is so cool, I want to try breeding them with another Drakon that is at least a carrier for that particular trait as well. And that will mean that it's possible, it's even a little bit more likely, I think that there's a 50% chance that the children will also be bioluminescent. Okay, so we are going to breed these 2 Drakons. Here we go. And Pretty Neon over here. And we want to get that from the directory, and Leroy over there. And that looks just about right. Let's hit the breed button. And out comes a beautiful cascade of flowers again, showering the 2 Drakons in lovely petals. And I am not good at ad-libbing purple prose. Sorry, everybody. I'm not that sorry. It's a silly skill to cultivate. So to talk to somebody about getting that cinematic hooked back up again. All right. Anyway, we've got some eggs that have popped out here, and let's claim them. We're gonna go over to our incubator here, and let's look at our egg inventory to see what we've got. All right. So we've got mint wigs and color scheme again. We don't need this egg. All right. Pretty Neon and Leroy, and what we're going to look for are eggs that can potentially have this particular genetic mutation, and I think all of them will be contenders for this particular mutation. They should also all be contenders for bioluminescence. So what I'm going to do is I am going to try incubating these eggs, and I'm going to switch the lights off, which, if you'll recall, that is what triggered the bioluminescence to show up, because the Drakons, even if they inherit the correct genotype, they won't be bioluminescent unless their environment triggers that particular gene to show up, because it's an environmentally triggered gene. So let's look at this one first. And pop. Oh, wow, 3 wings. 3 dang wings. I love that. All right. Oh, that one's nice. That one is very nice. I'm going to name this one Flashy. Confirm. There we go. And let's look at this one. See what we've got in here. And pop. Oh, that one's kind of cute. Sort of a muted tone. I'm going to name this one Higgy because it reminds me of that Scandinavian just muted lo-fi comforting tones. There we go. And I'm going to hatch this one as well. Oh, wow, look at that tail. That is an interesting tail. Love that tail. The cool thing about Drakons is they have so many different genes. Even if we don't get the gene that we want, we still have so many other pretty genes. So I named the other one Higgy because that reminded me of that Scandinavian design philosophy. So I'm going to name this one IKEA because that seems to be on that theme. All right. And I guess let's hatch one more egg as well. There we go. And I'm wealthy with RP, so I'm gonna pay so that I don't have to wait the 10 seconds. Oh, whoops! I think I just paid money to, I just lost 10 RP. Oh well, that's fine. Oh, that one's tiny. Oh, I like it. That one is very small. I'm going to name this one Minuscule because that is a synonym for small. All right. So let's have a look at our aviary and see what we just hatched. So IKEA is, oh look, IKEA is bioluminescent. I can see along their chest there's some lighter colors here. And so yeah, and this really loud neon color. So this actually works. So we've got another bioluminescent Drakon, sorry, not dragon, very different animals. Let's check out Higgy. All right, this one's not bioluminescent, but that's okay. How'd we do on this? Nothing. We didn't get anything. Oh yeah, forgot to. Okay, so IKEA is a carrier for this particular gene. What about Minuscule? Nope, got nothing. Although I think, nope, not bioluminescent. You got nothing, Minuscule. Got nothing. Yep, nothing. And what about Flashy? I love Flashy. Nothing on Flashy, but but they're so flashy. I really like flashy. All right. Well, it looks like we have failed in the task of trying to get this mutation to happen, but we are undaunted, and we will try again. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use Pretty Neon again, and this time I think I am going to pull from the director, or I'm going to pull from the lookbook instead of from my own aviary, just to see if there are any other Drakons that are carriers for this particular mutation, and maybe we'll have better luck there. So that's what I'm going to try. We have 2 more clutches left for Pretty Neon, and I'm not going to talk to Yoshi and get rid of these Drakons yet. All right, so we're going to hit the breeding menu and sexual, and where is Pretty Neon is the first parent, and for the second parent, I'm going to go into the lookbook, and we are going to look around until we find a nice Drakon that is a carrier for this. All right, so Hachiko, we can maybe use Hachiko, not Lucky or Goodall, maybe Balto. Oh, look at that. Well, that is interesting. That is an interesting color scheme. I'm a fan of Balto. I'm kind of a fan. It's not flashy or anything, but I'm kind of a fan of this like ashen look. I kind of like it, but we have others to look at. Let's look at the others first. Ooh, Hypatia is nice. But I already have a Drakon that looks like this. Oh, Schmoopy. Oh, I kind of love Schmoopy's whole situation. It's just the coolest thing that I have ever seen. It's not. I've seen cooler things, but, within the scope of this particular lookbook, I think this is the coolest Drakon. Hypothesis. I don't know about Hypothesis. Agave. No, Agave is not what we want. I'm just going to look for if there's any good name. Oh, Dr. Whom. Oh, hey, we could use Dr. Whom. All right, should we use Dr. Whom or should we use Balto? I will wait for any input from viewers. And in the meantime, I will give you all an animal fact that has nothing to do with Drakons. So while I was doing the research for Taito Ecology, and also a bit of Taito Online as well, one of our animals, you can visit them in the Himalayan biodome, is the snow leopard. And I learned while I was doing the research for the biodex for the snow leopard that the Latin name for the snow leopard is uncha uncha, which is pretty cool because it sounds like a pretty sick bass line, just like uncha 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 uncha. But then I looked it up a few months later on Wikipedia, and it turns out that they changed it to Panthera uncha, which is not as cool. So that's the animal fact, and now y'all know that. And I didn't get any responses, so you know what? We're going to go with Balto, and we are going to hit breed. There we go. And I'm going to take another run around here. Ooh, I love this ocean. I also like this glass. I like how it's got sort of a dragonfly wing look to it. All right, and oh, look how many dragons there are in here. It's so pretty. I love it. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Holly. I didn't see that response in time. Well, maybe Dr. Whom will still be there if we try to breed some more Drakons. All right, so we've got 4 more eggs, and I am going to open up this incubator, and we've got Pretty Neon and Balto, and we want to check our mutations. There we go. We're going to check our mutations to see if there are contenders, and as suspected, these are all contenders. This one isn't, though. This is an old egg. So these are all contenders, and I like this one's particular scheme, so I'm going to put this in. Just gonna flip the lights off just in case. And this one's got like a sage green thing going on. I like that. And this one is also very nice. All right, we've got 1 Drakon who is available. Let's see what they look like. And Holly says she was trying to give someone else a chance. Thank you, Holly. Very, very polite, very chivalrous of you. All right. Oh, this one's cute. Look how nice. I've been saying that about all of the Drakons. I'm not going to say, oh, this one's not cute. They're all cute. I like them. I'm going to name this one Astrid. That's my dog's name. My dog is also cute. There we go. Astrid is now in our aviary. I'm going to open up the next egg. And crack. Ooh! Oh, that is nice. Look at this tuxedo look. This is very nice. Well, this one I'm going to name this one James Bond. That's what I'm going to name this one. All right. Oh, it's on a strict list. Heck. Well, I'm going to name it Tuxedo then. There we go. Tuxedo. All right. I'm so excited about Tuxedo. I have a very good feeling about them. So I'm going to open up my directory and I'm going to look at Tuxedo and, oh, look at that. We got Lukeism, you guys. We got it. We got the genotype to happen. So I will explain this, this particular genotype. Lukeism is similar to albinism. If you know what an albino is, it is an organism that doesn't have any pigment in its skin or hair or eyes. So if you've seen like an albino rat or mouse, they have white fur and pink ears, and they usually have pink or red eyes too, which is very interesting. It's because the eyes don't have any color in them whatsoever. Usually albinos have a bit of trouble seeing because their eyes just absorb all of the sunlight. They're susceptible to sunburns and things. And albino animals tend not to live very long. They are very easy for predators to spot, but these drakons are nice and safe in our inventory, or in our aviary rather. Lukeism is similar to albinism. It's where you are lacking a lot of color pigment in your feathers or fur or your eyes or whatever, but it is not a complete lack of coloration. So if you see a picture of a quote-unquote albino animal, but you can see that its eyes aren't pink, that means that it isn't an albino. It's actually a leucistic animal. And leucism, it comes from the, I believe the root word is the leuk thing, which is Greek maybe for white, something to do with white. So yeah, leucism is a cousin to albinism, and we got it. We got it, you guys. So this is really cool. We now have Tuxedo, and we also have Pretty Neon, and those are our wonderful mutant drakons. So let's have a look at the pedigree here, and I think let me open up Tuxedo's there. There we go. Open up Tuxedo's pedigree. Okay, so Tuxedo's parents are, of course, Balto and Pretty Neon. And I'm going to see if I can track this trait through... Oh, I guess I can't. Oh, no, yes, I can. Okay, so I have this leucism trait selected, and as you can see, I can see that this Tuxedo has the homozygous genotype because Pretty Neon was a carrier, and Balto was also a carrier. And they were also, I guess, technically carriers for this dominant gene. You don't really call an organism that has one dominant allele a carrier for the dominant allele, but for the sake of argument, we'll say that. And so that's why Astrid has two of these dominant alleles, but Tuxedo has two of these recessive alleles, even though they're full siblings. So that's really cool. We did it, everybody. We got not one, but two mutations to show up. And it is 348 right now, so I think that instead of trying to go for another mutation, which will take who knows how long, I am just going to stop here, but before I go, I want to walk around the Drakonarium and give everybody some announcements. So we are still running our art contest, and we're getting some submissions in, but we want more submissions. We want more submissions to our art contest. So if you are 15 years of age or younger, you can submit your art to our art contest, and if you win, your art will actually be featured in the Taito, in the My Art Museum in Taito Online. So if you have one of the winning pictures that we select, you will be able to call yourself a real, genuine video game artist because your art will be in a video game. And that's how that happens. So please do send us our submissions. Go to www.taitoonline.com. And you can also try /gamers to get to our students webpage, and you can see the link for submissions right there. You can also visit our Facebook, Taito Online, and we also have the submission guidelines and things pinned to our Facebook. We do live streams of a different sandbox every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, so tune in next time. We're going to be playing with the orb, and The week after that, we'll do the Hilo. So basically, we're going to be doing Orb Hilo Draconarium, Orb Hilo Draconarium, ad infinitum until the end of time. Probably not. We might switch it up one week, but next week's going to be the Orb. So yeah, send us your art, and if you happen to breed any very interesting looking Drakons, take a screenshot and post it to Facebook, or just let us know about it, or hey, draw a picture of it. The prompt for this for our art competition is the view from my planet, but technically if you're looking at your Drakon on the planet Ovo, that is the view from your planet, so if you draw a picture of your Drakon, we would like to see it. That's pretty much all I have for this week, and thanks for tuning in, and tune in next time. And so yeah, this is Caroline signing off. Bye everybody.